Welcome to the Unit 4 review. So this is going to incorporate really all the different sections of Unit 4 into really just one main problem. And I have two of them very similar to what you might see on a test. So we have plot of land sale has a width of X feet and a length of, this is feet, actually should be yards. Can't do anything without making a mistake. So length that is 8 yards less than its width. I guess it doesn't actually say in here that it's a square yard, so we're gonna do, it's gonna be a rectangle. And the length is 8 less than the width, so it's width minus 8. Less than is one of those turnaround words, so the width comes first and the 8 is next. We don't know the width. We know that the farmer will only purchase if the area is, we know it's square yards, so that's area is going to be 240 yards squared. All right, we need to find the equation. So area of a rectangle is length times width, or width times length. So the area is 240. The width is W, and the length I'm going to represent it with a W, which is W minus 8. And we multiply this W in, we're going to get W squared. W times W is W squared. 8 times W is 8W. There's more than one W in this problem, so we are not going to use a method of solving by square roots. We are going to get this into standard form. So 0 equals, so that standard form means you want it in all the like terms together. Everything's multiplied out, and the equation equals 0. We are going to now draw the graph. So we have our A is 1, our B is negative 8, our C is negative 240. So the vertex, find the vertex, I'll just do this over here. X equals the opposite of B over 2 times A, 8 over 2, so the x value of the vertex is 4. And to substitute that in, we're going to go with, I'm going to go f of x. That is not right. So 4, substitute 4 in, squared, minus 8 times 4, plus or minus 240. This is going to be in 16 minus 32 is negative 32, minus 240 is negative 256. And I'm going to go by ones. You can certainly, you're going to see these numbers. I'll talk about them a little bit. So 3, 2, 5, 6. Substituting these in. I'm going to substitute 3 in. So when I substitute 3 in, I'm going to get 3 squared minus 8 times 3 minus 240. You might think, well, why don't you have the f of 3 in there? Technically, I should. But I'm really, all the calculations come from the other side of the equation. So 3 squared is 9, minus 8 times 3 is 24, minus 240 is going to be negative 15, negative 255. Just a little bit off, man. That's not too much. Negative 256 and negative 255, that's really close. So I guess that means our other number down here is a negative 255. Now let's substitute 2 in. 2 squared minus 8 times 2 minus 240. So that's 4 minus 16 minus 240. So that is going to be negative 12 minus 252. And so the bottom one is negative 252. As you see, these numbers here are not very far apart from each other. So what you could have done to, instead of going by ones here, we could have went by something like 4s. That will space these numbers out over on the right side a little bit better. But we'll still deal with it. We'll work with it. All right, so let's plot these points. We have 2 negative, or I'll go with the vertex first. So 4, negative 256, somewhere down here. And then 3, 255. 3 is negative 255. So I'm just going to go a little bit up from the last one. And 5, negative, so I'm going to go the same height as the other one. The vertex is the bottom in this case. We know that A is positive, so it's going to be a U-shaped graph. So the vertex has to be the lowest point. We have 2, negative 252. I'm just going to go a little bit up from that. Realize that these graphs are not perfect at all. Like, they're not a perfect graph. So when we do this, we're drawing very good representations, but not exact. So not the best looking graph, but it's a graph. Domain, how far left does this graph go? It's going to go left forever, and left forever is negative infinity. So it's going to be negative infinity. How far right does it go? It keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going right forever. And right forever is positive infinity. So you can write that, or you can write the whole real number symbol. Range. What is the lowest part of the graph? Lowest part of the graph is down here. That y value is negative 256. That is an actual point on the graph. So negative 256, and it raises up. The right side goes up forever, left side goes up forever. That's going to go up to positive infinity. Increasing intervals. So now we got to actually label these. So from left to right, this graph is going down. And let me draw like this is going down, 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 down till the vertex. And that is decreasing. Decreasing is decreasing coming from the left to from negative infinity. And it stops decreasing at the x value of 4. So it's coming from, so it's decreasing from negative infinity to 4. If you want to put a bracket around the 4, you certainly can. Where does it start increasing? It starts increasing at 4, and it goes to the right forever. Right forever is positive infinity. So we got 4 to infinity. Zeros. For zeros, I'd honestly put this into Desmos. Looking at our equation here, negative 240 is a big number. So if you're using the quadratic formula, you're going to get some giant numbers. That's the way I would work it out. Or you could do it by factoring. So a times c would add to b. That certainly will work. So again, negative 240 is a big number. So I am going to put this in Desmos. So w squared minus 8w minus 240. So x squared minus 8x minus 240. My two solutions are at negative 12 and 20. So, or my zeros are also another name for that is x-intercepts, zeros, negative 12 and 20. Now end behavior. We're looking at the ends of the graph. So the ends of the graph here, what's happening on this end? It's going left forever, left, and it's going up. How far left is it going to go? It's going to go left to negative infinity. It'll never stop. And how high will that go? It'll keep going up forever. Up forever is positive infinity. So looking at the first end behavior, left is your x values. So x is going to negative infinity. The y values are going to positive infinity. Look on the right end of the graph. It is going right and up. How far right will it go? Well, that's never going to stop going right forever. Right forever on the graph is positive infinity. And how high will it go? Well, that'll keep going up forever to positive infinity. So as x, that's your right and left. X is going to positive infinity. The y's are going up to positive infinity. Here's another way to look at it. You see these two, the y values, they're both going up. Both these arrows are going up. So that's kind of a quick check. How many solutions does the quadratic have? You found in number 1. Well, we have 2 zeros, so that's 2 solutions. And those solutions are real numbers. Alright, let's take a look at the back. For this one, it's actually the exact same as the front, except I give you the equation. So building everything out from there should be pretty simple. I'll work it out, just in case, so you can want to check your work. So we're going to find the vertex first. It's the opposite of b. That's a 464 over 2 times a. So that's negative 64 over negative 32, which is 2. So our vertex is, the x value is 2, and then we're going to substitute that in. So we have negative 16 times 2 squared plus 64 times 2 plus 60. And that's going to be 2 squared is 4 times negative 6 is negative 64. 64 times 2 is 128 plus 60. And that is going to be a negative 4, negative 2. So that's negative 4, 124, 124. So 2, 124. Okay. I'm going to go by 1, so 1, 0, 3, 4. So I substitute 1 in. Then that's going to be negative 16 times 1 is negative 16. 64 times 1 is 64. Plus 60. So that's 124. 108. I believe it's 108. And substituting 0 in. My favorite number to multiply by or square. Because I don't have to do any kind of math in my head. Super simple. So all those are 0 plus 60 is 60. So negative 108 and 120. Negative 108. Positive 108. Come on, Mr. Johnson. Positive 108. Draw this graph. So 2, 124. Somewhere right in here. We have 1, 108. We have 0, 60. 3 negative or 108, positive 108. Why does it never say 124? That should be, my goodness, that should be 60. 460. Characteristics. How far left does the graph go? It'll go left forever. How far right does it go? It'll go right, keeps going right forever. So that's all real numbers. Range is going down forever. Down forever. Doesn't matter that both of them are. Just takes one. Negative infinity. At the highest point is your, in this case, is your range. And it happens to be the vertex is always going to be your either your bottom or the top of your range. So that's 124. Now we got to label this. We have increasing, decreasing from left to right. So this is the increasing portion. This is the decreasing portion of the graph. Where is it increasing from? It's coming from left, from negative infinity. So that's coming from left, from negative infinity. It's always your x values, and then it goes till the x value of 2. So it's going to be increasing from negative infinity to 2. Where does it decrease from? It starts at 2, and it goes to the right forever to infinity. Just make sure you have infinity there. Zeros, I'm actually going to go to the graphs. Negative 16t squared plus, so negative 16x squared plus 64x plus 60. Look at my x-intercepts. So negative 0.8. So 748, 748. So x equals negative 0.74748. 784. I always get mixed up. And 4.784. Make sure I got those right. Yeah, I do. Okay. Those are my zeros, which are also called as x-intercepts. Now looking at your graph, what are two directions that's going? It's going left and down. It's going left forever to negative infinity. It's going down forever to negative infinity. So x is going to negative infinity. The y is going to negative infinity. The right side is going right, and it's going down. It's going right forever, and it's going down forever. Right forever is positive infinity. Down forever is negative infinity. Now, how many solutions does it have? This has 2 real solutions. They're both real numbers. They're irrational, but those are real. So it has 2 real solutions. All right, thanks for watching.